Hello everyone and welcome to a new video blog at Elliott Wave Forecast. Today is the 5th of May 2023 and in today's video we'll be taking a look at the Procter & Gamble stock, symbol PG. So this is the daily chart for the stock. We are looking for a potential bullish setup taking place, which will lead eventually later on to a new all-time high if the structure remain intact in the coming few weeks. So we can start by examining the structure that took place last year. I mean, technically speaking, since the peak of January of 2022, that was the previous peak in the stock. From there, we can see that it did three waves to the downside, which ended in November of last year. So this three swings to the downside ended, and then the stock started a new rally to the upside, which eventually will be looking to allow a rally toward new all-time highs. So the initial move from the October low was in 5 waves, followed by a correction in wave 2, and the recent rally that took place last month did manage to break above the recent peak from early this year. So the recent break above 155 or 154 area allowed the structure to turn into a bullish sequence. After managing to break this peak, we now have an incomplete bullish sequence within the daily cycle from here, which is technically speaking calling for a move toward equal-legs area around 168. So the slightly bullish scenario here at this stage is that we are expecting the recent rally that started from the 9th of March to finish this 5-wave advance, ideally around the 618 area, 618.76 fib extension, which is around 155, 160. So in the short term, we could be still seeing a short-term push to the upside in the coming 2 weeks. Then ideally, we expect a correction at least in 3 waves to correct this rally. And technically speaking, as long as it remains above this 135 low, so as long as this low in the short term remains intact, then this should find buyers because this is a bullish sequence. It should find buyers during this pullback. 3, 7 or 11 swing pullback should ideally take place. Then we should expect another rally to continue. Of course, this could be, a potential nest taking place. We'll be talking about another scenario in a moment. So this is let's say the bullish scenario at this stage, as long as 135 is holding. And of course, eventually this will be looking toward the equal-legs area around 168. The moment we manage to break above the previous peak, which is of course making new all-time highs, that will open of course further extension later on within an impulsive structure that could be taken place in the second half of this year, which would maybe lead to the stock to break toward 188 at a later stage. Now, of course, this is all based on this daily cycle that started from October, and no confirmation yet of the weekly cycle looking to see further continuation until we take the peak from 2022. Until that happens, we could be going over other different scenarios. Now, the second scenario that I want to talk about is kind of an extremely bullish scenario compared to the previous one here, because at this stage, if the market is looking to remain bullish for PG, which maybe isn't going to be the case based on other metrics, because we have the correlation with the rest of the market and we are kind of reaching a critical stage. That's why this is basically the more likely scenario, with a potential pullback taking place in the coming maybe month or two, a correction similar to the one that we saw earlier this year, before the market continue to the upside. This is for now the highest probability scenario based on the correlation with the rest of the market. Now, the most bullish scenario, if PG decides to remain strong and maybe play the second dimension with the rest of the markets, it could remain sideways to higher, which could allow the stock to trade straight forward toward the target, which is around 168, 176. So it means the bullish sequence from October 2022 will continue. Smaller pullbacks will be seen in the coming few months, but this should remain supported. So probably around the summer, we could be seeing the target being hit before a larger correction takes place. This means this correction that is expected to end the cycle from last year won't be ending soon. it will be ending only after we see a 5-wave advance to the upside, followed by a larger correction. Then the rally would continue maybe next year or by the end of this year. Because if we manage to take this peak, that's of course a confirmation that the weekly bullish sequence is going to extend, and that would mean any daily pullback later on should find buyers again. Now, these are the two bullish scenarios that we are presenting at this stage. If we are going to see a larger correction that could be starting soon from here, I mean, this is based on the first scenario. The market could be later on correcting within 3 waves pullback, but most importantly, this move higher is not yet breaking the 2022 peak. So if that's the case and we are looking for a more bearish scenario, that would mean the stock could be just finishing a 3-wave bounce. At this stage, we only have 3 swings. I mean, we are not seeing a 5-wave advance yet. It's only 3 swings, but this is still a bullish sequence. What could happen is sometimes the market do truncate without reaching equal legs area, and this is happen usually, of course, around the 618 area. So we can see, I mean, we are trading within that extreme area. If this stock followed by the rest of the market decides to see a larger correction, which means this will fail as a 3 waves without breaking this peak, which could lead to the stock doing a 7 swing correction from the previous peak. So we had the first leg. Now we are doing the 3-wave bounce. This is all. This was only the first swing from January 2022 peak. So this is the first leg. And that last year we saw a bounce, and to this year, then we could be seeing another cycle similar to this one. Of course, this is the most bearish scenario. It will be only confirmed later on if this pullback that we are expecting to happen from here, if we see a break in, I mean, using our system at a later stage, when this drop start to take place, this pivot in our system could give up, which allow us to know that this cycle ended only as 3, and we could be seeing a decline starting from here, which could lead to a further downside and a correction. Of course, it will present later on a better weekly buying opportunity when we reach the extreme area. I will mention it in a second, but we need to understand that these truncations do happen. I mean, we can see this, for example, this move to the downside, truncated around the 618 area. I can show you here. You can see it. This move to the downside, the 3 swings down, it erased the divergence in the short term. I mean, this daily cycle had 3 swings down without divergence, and it truncated around the 618 area. This could happen here. Yes, potentially yes, but we don't go truncation until we have more data. I mean, we need to see how this pullback will take place. I mean, the stock still have the opportunity to extend higher and make new highs before starting the pullback. We still have structure supporting the move higher. So there is no reason to call it truncation until the market give you signs or show you a structure supporting that idea. So for now, I mean, the overall structure remain bullish as long, mainly and importantly, as long as March 2023 low is holding. As long as 135, technically speaking, is holding, we expect this pullback to remain supported and further upside. The most bullish scenario is straight move toward the target 168, 176. The lesser bullish scenario is just a 3-ways pullback. You could be looking to buy this later on, maybe in the coming month or 2. This could be a decent buying opportunity in the daily, maybe during the summer, and then another leg to the upside. Of course, this could be just a straight move, as I mentioned, for a bearish scenario, which will lead to a greater pullback and a potential. I mean, we don't have the X in place, but from this area, we could be looking maybe later on for a move lower toward 116, 100 level, which will present a weekly buying opportunity. So that's the overall idea for the stock, for PG. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any question or you are looking for similar structure or similar ideas around the stock market, I recommend that you join us by taking the trial at the website. You can find it at elliottwaveforecast.com. Have a good day, everyone.